guys, it's Paige. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be spilling the tea on all things college related. So first I'm going to be talking about the application process. So that's where I applied, where I was accepted and or rejected. Second, I'm going to be talking about the college that I decided to go to and why. Third, I'm going to be talking about my advice for the college application process and just some of the things that I wish I had known. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about the stats that got me accepted. So that's my GPA, my SAT, my ACT, AP tests, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. I applied to 6 schools, I believe, yeah. So that's Elon University, American University, University of Maryland, University of Georgia, Fordham, and Rutgers. Sorry, what was I talking about? So the first school that I heard back from out of all those was University of Georgia. So I remember it was late at night and me and my friend both like checked our decision letters at the same time, and I found out I actually got deferred from Georgia, which definitely was a little rough just because it was the first college I had heard back from. So the next school that I heard back from was in late December, I think. I don't know, don't quote me on these dates, I'm not exactly sure. But it was Fordham, and I did get accepted into Fordham, so that was a yay. So a couple weeks after that, I got a letter back from Elon University, which is in North Carolina if you didn't know. And I did get accepted into Elon, so that was happy times. And around the same time as Elon, I also found out that I got accepted into Rutgers. So that was exciting too. The next school that I heard back from, I want to say this was late January, but I'm not entirely sure, but was University of Maryland. And I did get accepted there, which was exciting. But even more exciting, I actually was invited to join one of their scholars program. It's called College Park Scholars. It's basically just a living learning community. So after that, I had to wait a while to hear back from my next school. I was actually on vacation at the time. I was in Florida with my best friends. I have a vlog on that, by the way. If you want to go watch that, I'll have it linked up above. But yeah, so I was with all of them when I opened the decision letter from University of Georgia, because they had gotten back to me. If you remember, I had been deferred. And I was accepted at University of Georgia, which was also exciting. And then lastly, I wasn't supposed to hear back from American until like April 1st. Oh my god, my cat is so irritating. And I was also accepted at American, and I did get some scholarship money there too, which was really nice because that is also a very expensive school, so this would help me be able to afford it. So out of those 6 schools, the first one that I immediately was like, nope, was Rutgers, because I wanted to get out of state. Rutgers was a really, really big school. I didn't like all the buses. I didn't like how big the class size was. I was just like, bye Rutgers. The next college that I had eliminated was Fordham University, because although I really liked the school when I visited it, it was very religious. It's a Jesuit school. I didn't like the location in the Bronx. Like, the Bronx is kind of unsafe. The next college I got rid of was University of Georgia. Like, when it came down to it, it was just too far away. I wanted to move out of state, but I didn't want to move that far. The next school that I got rid of was Elon University. So I just had some problems with Elon that eventually made me not want to go there. For one, the campus is beautiful, but off campus, there's really not much to do. But another big reason I didn't want to go there is because my best friend Olivia is going to that school, and I wanted to go to a college where I could have like my own unique experience. So now we're down to 2. I was between University of Maryland and American University in Washington, D.C. So after a lot of internal struggle, I'd say, and like multiple mental breakdowns, I did decide on a college. Drum roll. American University. Sorry, I'm so extra with all my merch. But yeah, I did decide on American University, and I'm so excited about it now. At University of Maryland, they didn't even have a school of communications. They only had a department of communications, and at American has a really good reputation there. The School of Communications there is brand new, so they have all this innovative technology. I can study like film and media there, but I can also do strategic communications and public relations. And I was just really impressed by their program there. I really feel like I'm gonna love it at American. Okay, so that pretty much concludes that half of the video. Now I'm going to be moving on to the more informational half of this video, I guess. Okay, real quickly before I go on to any other advice, this is the one single piece of best advice you can get throughout this entire process, and that is create a separate email for all things college related. don't have your school email be the one that you're giving out to colleges, because that inbox will be flooded, and I say flooded, with so many emails that are so annoying. Like at 2 a.m. I'm getting emails from colleges, and colleges, I'm like, please stop emailing me. It's so irritating. My next piece of advice, this is pretty basic, but I'm just gonna say it, and that is to start everything early. I know you've probably heard this before, but start your Common App essay, because you have to write a Common App or coalition essay. Start that the summer of your junior year or earlier. Don't wait till senior year where you're stressed out and you're starting to you're like, oh my god, I have to apply to college, like what do I do? And you also have schoolwork on top of that. And kind of going along with that, my next piece of advice is to always apply early action if you can. Not every school will have that option. You might not have all your materials ready by then, but if you can, have your application done by whatever the early action deadline is, because it's so nice to be able to submit it, not have to worry about it, and then to hear back earlier and have more time to make your decision. And the last piece of advice I want to say, and this is probably my biggest regret, is to apply for as much as possible. Don't say, oh, there's probably like so many applicants, like I'll never get chosen. Like, that's a horrible mindset. This is just one thing I didn't mention earlier, but Elon University actually has a fellowship program for like 20 or 30 kids get chosen for this communications fellowship where they get to, you know, travel across the country to media hubs and just all this cool stuff. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool, but I mean, only 20 or 30 people are chosen, so I'll never get selected. There was also other fellowships that I could have applied for there, like the leadership one. That one is apparently easier to get selected for, so I wish I had applied for all that stuff. Like, bottom line is just apply for as much as you can. You never know if you're gonna get it. The worst that can happen is you don't get it, and that's not the end of the world. Okay, so that's pretty much all the advice and tips that I wanted to give you guys for the application process. Now I'm going to be moving on to the stats that got me accepted for college. Okay, so obviously I have to start off this segment of the video with a disclaimer. I was debating whether or not to even include this in the video because I know it can be controversial to share your scores online, but I am in no way doing this to brag or to boast about my certain scores. I'm doing this solely to give you kind of a benchmark so you can gauge like whether or not you'll get into a school. Not that it's good to compare scores. Don't compare yourself to other people. Don't think that scores are the only part of the application that colleges look at. I know most colleges nowadays are like, yeah, we do a holistic review. It's not just your scores that matter. Again, I'm only doing this to give you guys kind of a baseline for the scores, like, oh, she got accepted with those scores, maybe I can too. That's all I'm trying to do here, nothing more. With that being said, let me tell you my scores. So my GPA has been like pretty consistent from sophomore year to senior year, I want to say, and it's been at like a 4.365 for a while now. That's the weighted GPA, obviously. I don't know what my unweighted GPA is, honestly. My school doesn't really show that. For standardized tests, I took the SAT and only the SAT. I never even tried the ACT, which was kind of upsetting. That's another thing I regret. Take both tests, you never know. First of all, my PSAT scores, I don't remember exactly what they were, but I'm pretty sure they were like an 1100. They weren't good. So the first time I took the test, I believe it was in June, but the first time I took it, I got a 1330. So I know some people out there probably laughing like, oh my god, that's the worst score I've ever heard. I can't believe she's sharing this on the internet. But for me personally, I was thrilled with that. I didn't think I was going to get above a 1200, honestly. So I was really, really happy. And then the second time I took the SAT was in March, I'm pretty sure. And this time I got a 1310. So yep, I did worse my second time taking the SATs, which sucks, but whatever. I did better, a little bit better in the math section at least. So I took my best English score from the first one and then my best math score from the second one and super scored them to form a 1370. And yeah, that was the score that I sent to all my colleges, 1370. Okay, AP testing is usually something that YouTubers will talk about in this kind of video. My school doesn't really offer that many AP tests. I took 1 AP class my junior year and then 3 my senior year. I'm still taking them right now. I'm taking the exam for most of them in like 2 weeks. Oh my god. And lastly, of course, usually YouTubers in these types of videos will mention the clubs. I was in clubs, I was in sports, I was involved. I feel like no one wants to listen to me ramble on about this kind of thing, but yes, I was an involved student. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about for the most part in this video. I hope that this was informational for you guys, and I also hope this was interesting. If you cared about where I'm going for college, now you know. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I'll see you next Sunday in my next video. Bye guys.